Can anybody quickly remind us what we looked at last week?
We talked about understanding real estate and starting in the right way.
Understanding real estate, starting the right way. That is what we looked at. And as part of our introductory sessions, this video is brought to you by Fortreal Realtors. And Fortreal Realtors is a brokerage firm under Fortreal Limited. And what we do at Fortreal Realtors is to basically building an army of wealthy realtors who will build sustainable wealth for themselves as well as build wealth for their clients, and together make the Nigerian real estate sector a better place, right? So that's basically the essence of Fortreal Realtors. And we have products that you can market as a realtor, both in Abuja. We have products in Benin. We're putting together products in Lagos, right? So all together, from wherever you are, you can market all of these products and be able to earn your commission. I'll give further details about products in conversations, but I just needed to start by saying that this is brought to you by Fortreal Realtors. And this is our third class. We hold this class every Wednesday. Every Wednesday by 3 p.m., we have a free class that trains you, that educates you, that teaches you about real estate for free. We also have the paid class, which is absolutely exclusive and executive. And the paid classes are, in fact, there's a good news which I need to share. For the second category of our paid class, Portfolio, or there's going to be, you'll be getting access to Portfolio community if you go for the paid, the second category of the paid class. We'll give further details about all of this much later on. And finally, we are posting Portfolio on the 18th of this month. We're posting Portfolio on the 18th of this month. So do invite your friends. It's absolutely free. You're not paying for that. It's absolutely free, happening on the 18th of August. So in our last conversation, last week we looked at understanding real estate, starting the right way. And I broke my conversation into 3 parts. Number 1, start with why. Number 2, start with knowledge. And number 3, we looked at starting with strategy. Number 1, I said we looked at start with why. We looked at start with knowledge, and we looked at starting with strategy. And we actually rushed through starting with knowledge. We rushed through that, and we really didn't do justice to that. But we have a weekly curriculum to meet up to, and I wouldn't want a situation where we are sacrificing time is of the essence, right? So, which is the more reason you should consider doing the paid classes, because the paid classes be a 1 week exclusive back-to-back information, knowledge, practical sessions about real estate, right? But if you can't go for that, you can enjoy the free weekly sessions that we'll be having here, right? So we rush through the part 2. Can somebody put on his microphone and tell me one thing that's your takeaway from the part 1? One significant thing that you consider as a take home from the part 1. Another person will do one significant thing that he or she took away or took home from the part 2. Part 1 and part 2. Then I'll also, if I get good answers, then I will briefly look into part 3, because part 3 serves as a very good foundation for what we are supposed to look at today. It's a comprehensive curriculum, right? So it is my job to take it step by step. And if we miss any step in the curriculum, then we miss it. It will affect the next topic. That's why I'm going to be rushing through as much as I can without going into too much details or practicalities, right? So somebody should tell me something that he learned from part 1 and part 2. If I have good answers, then I'll talk about part 3. Unmute your microphone and let's hear you.
Part 1 and part 3 of what, sir? Sorry, I'm just coming in now. Barrister Raymond.
Part 1 and part 2 of what we did in our last class, last week. And yes, before you talk at any point, hold on. Let's add a bit of culture to our conversation. Before you if you are to talk, unmute your microphone, introduce yourself. My name is Raymond. I am a billionaire realtor. I need you to say that. It's part of what we talked about in our part one. It's a bit about what we talked about in our part one. So just tell us, my name is blah blah. I am a billionaire realtor. That's you confessing to yourself that I am a wealthy realtor. And so introduce yourself that way, then tell us what you're going to talk about, or what you're talking about. If it's okay, tell us your location for connection purposes, right? If it's okay, tell us your location for connection purposes. Somebody can be in this room that has the property that you need, right, in your state. And I'm aware that there are different people from different locations on this platform. So shoot.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, my name is Victor Chibona. Mr. Victor Chibona. I'm a real estate consultant resident in Owerri, Imo State, Nigeria. And
So
I'm
you
a
sound
billionaire realtor.
Okay, that's fine. That makes sense.
I'm
Go on, please.
a multi-billionaire realtor.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All
So
right.
on our previous class, you spoke about what we must always consider, the guys that we must always consider before we delve into real estate. You spoke about how that you must know your why. I don't know if you
That
must
works.
know the how.
Yeah, I think one is fine. We mentioned a number of things. We also spoke about the 6 friends that you must always have every time you're doing or on your journey in doing real estate or in your journey of real estate. So we spoke about the 6 friends in relation to what you just said. So somebody to attend to part 2. Thank you, Mr. Victor, multi-billionaire
Thank you
realtor.
so much. Thank you so much, Barrister, sir.
Somebody should do that. Number 2 quickly, part 2 quickly. Somebody should do that. That's the only condition we are going to do part 3.
All right. Good afternoon, Barrister Raymond. My name is
Yeah.
Amaka Anastasia. I'm a billionaire realtor. I base in Asaba, Delta State. So what I learned last week is about timing. That's what I took home last week. Timing readiness. I wasn't the perfect before I start. And I can use the little information and knowledge I have to start. Then with time, I will perfect. But I shouldn't look at perfection. I shouldn't look at perfection because most of us, we start, we have so many things bothering, like my camera is not okay, this and that. I don't know what to say, but start with what you have first. Then along the line, you will upgrade. I can remember when I started real estate, then the phone I was using then is very bad. So whenever I go to site, I'll be like, my camera is not good. I don't know, I don't know how to do this video. My mentor will tell me, even if you have a bad camera, do video with it. Use it and do video because it will encourage you. It will encourage you to try and then to buy another phone. Because if you keep borrowing from other people, you will not feel the pain. But when you use that ugly video to keep reminding you that I need to upgrade, I need to upgrade. So that really helps me. It really helps me that time. So whenever we go to site, I'll use that ugly video to shoot that video that way. And now I have all the gadgets that I need to run a professional video. So I think starting, you don't have to be perfect before you start. Start with what you have at that particular time. So that is what I learned last week.
Amazing. Thank you, billionaire. Right. So that is really amazing. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the feedback. This is something that I am grateful for. Now, there's something that I was thinking about, just meditating some days back, and something just came to my mind. For me personally, right? One thing I have seen or I have observed in this industry is that clients observe your growth. Clients observe your growth. They want to see your growth. Your growth is inspirational. There's something about marketing that we should pay attention to, which is the idea of storytelling. We're going to talk about it in one of our classes. Storytelling. Now, the idea of storytelling is creating a connection. That is the whole idea of storytelling, such that you, your client, can identify with where you are coming from. So when you are using a, let's call it a parasol phone, when you are using a phone that didn't make sense, you didn't give up. You still did what you needed to do. Remember, we talked about excellence and what excellence meant. And in our definition of excellence, we said that excellence is not being perfect. Excellence is doing what is best, or what is best achievable with what you have at that particular point in time, right? So clients have a way of observing your growth and connecting with you based on how you are growing. In other words, if you want to connect with your client, don't wait. If you wait to the point of perfection, then you have a way of establishing trust with them. I hope somebody understands what I'm trying to say. When a client sees that you have grown from trekking to using a car, the client has a way of identifying with where you are coming from and where you are now. And whether you like it or not, it has a way of showing that the client connects with you and the client recognizes your growth, and it has a way of leading up or translating into trust. I need us to take note of that. So if you are hiding your growth or you are hiding your imperfections, where are you creating room for perfection? Or where are you creating room for growth? So if you're hiding or waiting for perfection, then you are taking away the elements of growth that your clients can or should identify with. So the very next step that was supposed to jump into, I have to skip careers in real estate and a few other things so that we can quickly do that part 3 and then go to what we need to do today. Start with strategy. That is the part 3. Now, the first thing you should pay attention to when defining, I'm going to rush through this so that I can do what we need to do today because we have not touched that. So the first thing you need to do when you're looking at starting with strategy is to have and define your audience. Before strategy can work, you need to start by having or defining your audience. In other words, you are asking yourself a question: who do I want to sell real estate to? Do you want to sell real estate to Okada people? Do you want to sell real estate to students? Do you want to sell real estate to Gen Zs? Do you want to sell real estate to market people? Do you want to sell real estate to politicians? Do you want to sell real estate to Nigerians abroad? Do you want to sell real estate to this or that, or civil servants? That is one critical question you must ask yourself for your strategy to work. Because there is no strategy without vision. Strategy cannot work where there's no clarity. Clarity has to be critical. Clarity has to be in the picture for strategy to work. But when you are done establishing clarity, focus on building a community. Focus on building a community. It can be a community of investors. It can be a community of growing clients. It can be a community of a buying audience. But either way, create a community when you have defined your purpose, why you are doing this, your audience. Because when you create a community, it's easier to grow them, it's easier to nurture them, and it's easier to sell to them. Are we together? What I'm saying looks a bit, what's the word? It's looking like it's not, does it look anything like, does it look practical at all to you? Somebody should help me. I need someone to help me, just a bit of feedback to this. What do you think about creating a community around what you are doing? Because, but just before then, now, creating a community can, number one, be about your YouTube channel, for example. Your subscribers are a community to you. So if you treat it with that mindset, it helps you to, in fact, at that point, you know that you are the leader of that community. And if that community doesn't grow, you are responsible for it not growing. The attitude of that community is defined by you. The culture of that community is defined by you. What the products that community buys is dependent. Just like I just created a culture out of this conversation. I said before you talk, put on your microphone, introduce yourself, tell us you're a billionaire realtor. If we do this over and over, everybody gets used to it. That is creating a culture around a community. And when you create a culture around a community, there's a way, in fact, you can determine how they behave. So for your strategy to work, first, clarity is critical. Who is your audience? Because it is the question of who your audience will be, or who your audience is, will determine how you are going to do that community. You can't have a community of Gen Zs and be selling to them like a millennial. A community of civil servants, and you are not talking installments. You are not talking payments in installments. You can't have a community of people who don't have constant or consistent income, and all your products are. You can't have a community that they are just average income earners, and all you are selling are 50 million naira lands, 500 million naira houses. With that, you are going to struggle in the business. I was listening to this training. I think it was before, and somebody was asking a question. Can't remember exactly who now, but one of these real estate trainings anyway. And the person asked a question that he doesn't want to sell products less than 10 million. And all of his clients are always saying that his products are expensive, right? And they sort of begin to negotiate somewhere around this. Can they go for 1 million? Can they go for 10 million, 2 million, and all of that? So his clients are always asking for products around that range, while he doesn't want to sell anything less than 10 million. And he was asking for a solution to that problem. And the answer that was given in that during the course of that training was that it is either you are going to reduce your product to that range, or you are going to up your game, not the client, up your game to look like somebody that is selling a 10 million naira product. Because when you're selling a 10 million naira product, you need to look like a 10 million naira product, or you need to even look way more than that. So it's about the audience. So that guy has in his mind, he's looking to sell to people at the financial range of 10 million, whereas his audience can only afford products around 1 million and 2 million naira. So that already is disaster going to happen. And if he doesn't find a solution to that problem, that is why he can do real estate. In fact, you can even do real estate constantly for 1 year and not have a solution to that problem, except you have a way to retweak your strategy and find a way to come back to either growing your audience to come up to 10 million, or finding the audience to attend to at that point that fits your purpose and fits your product. Am I making sense?
Sir, you're making so much sense.
Great one. So let me just quickly rush away from this. Number one, define your audience. Have an audience, or define your audience. And this is where buying an audience doesn't make sense. If you are the guy that buys audience, if you are the guy that buys followers, if you're the guy that buys subscribers, be rest assured that they won't buy from you. So even if you buy them, they won't buy from you. Okay, so have your audience, or define your audience. Focus, then strategy will work. Then once you do that, build a community around everything you are doing. Do it with a community mindset, not just a follower. Don't just do it anyhow. Everything you are doing, your Facebook followers, your subscribers on YouTube, your whatever the community is, build it as a community. In fact, oh God. let's get away from this. So basically, there's offline and online strategies to marketing, right? And if online, let me read this quickly. And there are two ways to achieve this. There's okay, this won't work. I have to bounce this call. So there are two ways to achieve this. It's going to be the online, there's going to be the offline. And under both the offline and the online, there are two major things that we may not be able to look at. Number one, there are platforms that are for lead generation, and there are platforms that are for lead nurturing. There are platforms that are for lead generation, and there are other platforms that are for nurturing. And they're very important, but we're not going to be able to do that because our time is already. So let me rush into our today's class. Marketing 001. What is marketing? What is marketing? What is marketing? Marketing is basically any activity that you engage in for the purpose of promoting a particular product and eventually selling that product. Marketing is basically anything that, or any activity that you engage in for the purpose of promoting a particular product and eventually selling it. In other words, another person says that marketing is creating or making people interested in your product. There's a way I like to define marketing. Marketing is creating customers. And creating customers should start from creating awareness. And you must be very clear on your strategy of marketing. And again, this is why I said our last week conversation, which we just concluded very briefly, has a way of impacting to this conversation. And in what I just said a moment ago, I said that it's important for you to have clarity of thought, clarity of purpose as to the people you want to serve. Because you can't be marketing like a Gen Z and expect billionaires, and expect the old guys to like what you are doing. They will think you are not serious. You can't be marketing like, let me say that again for want of time. You can't be marketing like a Gen Z, for example. Let's do a bit of practical to it. So you can't possibly wear shorts, wear a polo, it's called Crocs, right? There's this. Forgive me, I'm not a millennial. I'm not a Gen Z, right? So you wear Crocs. Is it Crocs? Somebody should help me. Is that it?
Yeah, it's Crocs. Yeah, you got it.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. It's Crocs. Yes, sir.
We're getting old. Forgive me, guys.
I tell you the truth.
You see, so you can't wear shorts, wear a polo and Crocs, and begin to market a property. Whether you like it or not, whether you like it or yes, there are certain people that you will never be able to sell to. And on the other side of it, there are certain people that are going to like what you are doing. See that guy, the guy knows what's up. Make a bank party from him. Yes or yes?
Absolutely yes. Yes,
Yes,
a thousand times yes. 1 million trillion thousand times yes.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
I like the way the years are scattering my ear. Yes. So clarity as to who you want to attend to is important. In fact, in a bit to put a bit of strategy, because we usually have a lot of strategy sessions in the office, and in our conversations as to who are we attending to, our brand as a company, how does the brand, or how is the brand perceived? What are our audience? I also looked at our client base, and I realized, or from our conversation, because I had to ask my team, eventually we discovered that we are attending to a bit of millennials and a bit of Gen Zs. And 90% of this number are people who don't live in Nigeria. And it was deliberate all along. So the kind of content you see me put out online, for most of the times, is not for people who are within Nigeria. There's a bit of intentionality to every content that comes out there. Because for whatever reason, I know that Gen Zs have money. The last person that bought a house from me is a Gen Z, right? 25 years old, right? I know these people have money, but for whatever reasons, I want to be able to create a balance between attending to Gen Zs and attending to millennials and people a bit after them, because that will have that has a way of not restricting my audience. If I go all in to target Gen Zs, then I feel there'll be a bit of an issue there. So that is my opinion. So what I'm trying to say in all of this is, when you have defined your audience, then you can decide how you do your marketing, how you create your customers based on the definition I just gave, right? And there is a difference between marketing and sales. Who has an answer to that? What is the difference between, or just before you answer that question, remember we have a free training with Portfolio on the 18th of August. It is absolutely free, happening on the 18th of August. So do invite your friends, let them join this group and be available for that training. I'm sure some of you would have seen the video where Portfolio himself said that he's going to be teaching us 6 surefire ways that you can get customers that will pay for your product, that will buy your property. 6 surefire ways that you can get customers, people that will buy, clients that will buy your property. So that is happening on the 18th of August, and it is absolutely for free. So that's just a few weeks from now. And we also have our paid monthly trainings that happen online and offline, exclusive and executive. 5 days, 3 hours, 5 days, covering the entire curriculum that we have as a company. And we're even still upgrading this curriculum. So in that free 1 week, in that paid class of 1 week, you go through, we do a lot of the practicals and everything you need to know about selling real estate here in Nigeria. So if you want to register for the monthly classes, then do reach out to Ofiong on the group. She'll be in the group, or she's on the group right about now, right? So somebody should, get me an answer. The difference between marketing and sales.
Okay. My name is Oladaya Elijah Fasoini, a billionaire realtor based in Abuja, currently. So marketing is basically marketing a product, putting a product out there for people to know, to create an awareness about a product or about something you're doing. What you spoke about females being a good marketer but not being a good deal closer, whereas male are what? Good deal closer but poor in marketing. So you now told us that we have to be what? Intentional. If you're a male, you have to be intentional about your marketing, while if you're a female, you have to be intentional about closing a deal. So I think that's all I have to say for now.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate your response. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So basically, marketing is the activities that you engage in to create positive attention to you. Emphasis on the word positive. Positive. Anyway, let me not bring in positive, but for real estate, I am intentionally bringing in the word positive, because marketing at a general level, it's attention, and people use negative vibes, negative energy to gain attention, right? But in my personal professional opinion, I would advise you to stick to positive attention. Whatever you can use to create positive attention to you, you can refer to that as marketing. So marketing for us in this real estate class is any activity that you engage in to create positive attention towards you. Any activity you engage in to create people's interest in what you are doing and in what you are selling. Marketing is basically anything that, or any activity you will engage in to create a customer. In my years of doing this thing, I've converted people who never had intentions of doing real estate. In fact, I was surprised. I think it was yesterday. One of my classmates who had never, thought of doing real estate. She told me that she watched my video about buying my first land, and it really inspired her. And in fact, that video I did about how I bought my first land, even though I was earning 40K as salary, that video has been a blessing to a lot of persons. So that video, for example, that I did about how I bought my first land, even though I was earning 40K and I'm still an employee, that video is a way of creating interest, creating customers, and creating clients. And surprised, she started paying for a land 3 weeks ago. You won't believe that this lady reached out to me yesterday. She saw a property I posted on my status and about Benin. And she told me there is a payment plan for this property. She's looking at how to start paying for something in Benin. I'm like, wow. This somebody that just a few months back had no business working real estate, had no business doing real estate or investing in real estate at all. And in 2 weeks, so let me add here very quickly. Marketing is also influence. The more influential you can be, the more deliberate you can be as being an influencer, the better you will be at marketing real estate specifically. So let me rush away from here, right? So marketing is basically anything that creates the attention or creates the interest, and sales is you closing the deal and making money enter your hand. And that is why the example that he just gave makes sense, because like I mentioned, or I always like to say, ladies have those natural attributes that help them create interest and attention towards them, while men have those natural attributes that make them closers. In other words, because men are naturally more tactical, more logical. This is with no bias, please. I put a bit of emphasis on that. This is with no bias. Right? But naturally, men have a way of being more tactical. So while ladies are naturally good at marketing, and so you have to be deliberate about nurturing your marketing skills as a guy and nurturing your market. And as a lady, you need to be deliberate about nurturing your closing skills, the skills that help you to close. If not, as a lady, you would end up having a lot of people come towards you asking questions about your property, but you're not to close them. While as a guy, what if this is one reason why some guys give up faster than ladies? I think we have found an answer to that question, because it means that it is natural. Because even if you are not selling real estate yet as a beginner, right? When people are reaching out to you, making inquiries, there's a little bit of hope, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Why
sir.
for the guy?
Yes, and yes,
For the
Senator,
guy,
sir.
why you are not, since you are not naturally good or don't have the natural attributes of marketing, it is a bit more difficult for you to even get a lead. And without a lead, there is no hope. It's like God not send you, right? So it means that we just have to be very deliberate about everything we're doing on this, right? So marketing is the stuff you do. The marketing activities, and I'll just quickly break this down into three. There are three basic formula. There's a formula that can help you. I call it formula for effective marketing. Number one, for people to buy from you, or for you to market effectively, rather, people have to know you, and people have to like you, and people have to trust you. Know you, like you, and trust you. But guess what? Somebody can know you, like you, and trust you, but doesn't buy real estate from you. And why did I say so? I said so because it is beyond just knowing you. It is beyond just liking you. It is also beyond just trusting you. And that is where closing. In fact, when people talk about marketing, right? A lot of marketing classes use, this phrase is used a lot, or this know, like, and trust is a very popular phrase that people use talking about doing marketing, real estate classes, and all of that. But thinking a bit further, I realized that people can know you, somebody can like you, somebody can trust you and still not buy real estate from you. And that is where closing comes in. That is where closing comes in. Because, in fact, if you are not, for example, this month I've lost count of how many leads I've generated this month. And the good thing is they come. But here's where I need to pay attention to, where I need you to pay serious attention to, is for every lead that comes in, follow-up is, or let me break it down so that this doesn't get confusing. First activity or marketing activities that you need to pay attention to. I haven't understood that that for you to be able to market successfully, you have to find a way to make people like you, find a way to make people trust you, and find a way to make people know you. In other words, this is the question you should ask yourself. Or right now in your diary, write down, how do I make people like me, know me first, like me, and trust me? This is a question I'll need us to all ask ourselves. Take your time, sit down, take a biro, take a diary, and ask yourself this question. Then begin to write those things one after the other. How do I make people know me? And that speaks of visibility. Somebody cannot buy from you when he doesn't know you or he's not seeing you. So if you have visibility issues, I don't know if you are here, you're listening to me, and you think marketing on your WhatsApp status is enough or is going to make you sell real estate. Maybe, except you have billionaire people on your WhatsApp status who have money. But if your WhatsApp status is filled of students, then you are in the wrong place. The only way marketing on WhatsApp, your WhatsApp status is effective, is if you have a buying audience looking at your WhatsApp status. And WhatsApp status is full of buying audiences or full of people buy properties. So when I'm posting on my WhatsApp status, it's because I know that they are already a nurtured audience who are ready to buy. So you must be very deliberate about where, because I told my people that you can be a very good marketer, but you are marketing to the wrong people. So these are things that you must pay attention to. So as a way of making this very simple, marketing activities that you must pay attention. Answer this question: how do I make people know me? How do I make people like me? How do I make people trust me? And I skipped somewhere in our last class, which is where I talked about platforms that help you generate leads, or activities that help you generate leads, and activities that help you nurture leads. Those are two different and important things, right? And in your way to achieve that is by first asking yourself these questions and begin to do those things deliberately. Because as I will always like to say, if you learn how to sell yourself successfully, you will learn how to sell real estate. Or it is easier to sell real estate if you learn how to sell yourself successfully. So your first assignment, I remember we're going to talk about, I think it should be next week or 2 weeks time, we're going to talk about branding. And in that week, we're going to take our time to look into how to sell yourself, right? To summarize today's class is, understand that marketing is different from sales. And if marketing is different from sales, or marketing is different from sales, then you need to understand that there are marketing activities you need to do to market successfully. While there are sales activities you must engage in for you to sell and for you to make people pay for your product. If you ignore those marketing activities, you won't market successfully, because you're how you're able to determine whether your success, you have success marketing, is if they reach out to you. So if people are not reaching out to you, then there's a problem with marketing. If they are reaching out to you and they are not buying from you, then there's a problem with closing, or there's a problem with sales, as it were. Right? So these are specific things that you need to pay attention to and go and study. This is not a practical class where I have to begin to answer all of these questions one after the other. And these are part of the lessons or part of the benefits that you will get if you enroll for the paid classes. Generally, some of the benefits or the major benefits of being in this class is that I now have opened your eyes to understanding the difference between marketing and closing, right? And how, if you are failing in any of these, then there has to be, you have to find a solution to them, or you pay for the class and we find a solution together to any of these problems that you are having. But either we understand that there is a difference between marketing and there's a difference between closing. And because there's a difference between marketing and closing, you have to treat the activities separately. There's something we did in the office last week that will help our closing, and I'm following up on everybody to ensure that that is done by the end of the month. We're doing this every month in the office, and I know it will help everybody that is part of the team. Let me just read the last thing I have here. The last thing I'll just say here is be marketable. Make people interested in you. And what are the things that can make people interested in you? Writing, making posts, creating content, product marketing, content marketing. And these are a number of activities that will definitely help you in your marketing journey. But closing is a chapter on its own in this our curriculum. So when we get to the day we'll talk about closing, we'll go into details on the subject matter of closing. Let me take one question. We're already past our schedule. I think we might just be doing this class 1 hour. I don't know. We'll think about that and maybe make this class 1 hour session. Remember, Portfolio on the 18th, and our paid session is on the last week of every month, on the month of August, last week of every month. We do paid classes for realtors who will eventually become Fortreal certified brokers. Right. So let me take one question and we'll be out of here.
Okay, Barrister
Sir,
Raymond.
sir, I have
want
a
to say something.
question.
David, let's hear you.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening to you, David.
Yeah, so my question is, how often do you think we should post for us to be visible on all the
How
social
often
media
what?
platforms? Like, how often should we post on all the social media platforms for us to be visible as real estate consultants or real estate marketers, sir?
All right. You broke our rule. Do you know the rule you broke?
No, sir.
All right. That means you came late to the class. Next time after you introduce yourself, you tell us that you are a billionaire realtor, a billionaire broker, or billionaire agent.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, so in answering your question, what I will say, as far as marketing is concerned, you can never over market. As far as marketing is concerned, there's nothing like your own don't do too much. There's nothing like you are now overdoing. There's nothing like you are marketing too much. The only thing I will advise you to do is don't become excessively salesy. In other words, you don't have to make 5 posts in a day. And all of the 5 posts you are making in a day, you are telling people to come and buy a product. That is being extremely, excessively salesy, and that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't help you. So what I would advise is there's no limit to how many times you can post in a day. The only thing you should do is don't sacrifice intensity on the altar of consistency. In other words, don't post.
Sir, sorry, very sorry, sir. Please, can you come again with what you said? Don't sacrifice.
Okay, it's a quotable quote, right? It's Rema.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Rema
sir.
word, serious Rema word. Don't sacrifice intensity.
Intensity for consistency.
Don't
Come on now. Word.
intensity on the altar of consistency. In other words, don't post 10 times today. Ignore the next 10 days. Come after 10 days and post 10 times the same day. That doesn't work. When you go to the gym, what makes the chest come out is not intensity. You don't, if when you go to the gym and you want to develop your 6-pack, what I have is amazing pack, and I'm grateful to God for that. So assuming I want to bring out my 6-packs, right? If I go to the gym, if I spend the whole day in the gym, it doesn't make me, the best I can do is to break all of my bones. It doesn't make the 6-packs come out. What makes the 6-packs come out is if I do 1 hour. 1 hour is enough every day for the next 60 days. Everything will come out well. So
That's
intensity
correct,
is
sir.
you posting 100 times a day and ignoring the next 30 days. Consistency is you posting once or twice a day and doing it consistently for the next 60 days. And when you do that, all you should try as much as you can, maybe market a product, then market value. Market a product, market value. By marketing value, I mean content marketing. So market a product, market yourself. Market a product, market the business. Market a product, market your city. Market a product, market that. Just be sensible about it. I think that's your leave it that way.
Okay,
Thank you
sir.
so
Thank
much,
you
sir.
very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
That was
I want to
helpful.
say something.
That was
Yeah.
helpful.
Okay. Thank you so much, Barrister Raymond. You made a very important point that has popped my eyes open. Thank you so much, sir. So I wanted to say something concerning the timing and the schedule you set aside for this. Sir, sorry, sir. First of all, I want to deeply and immensely appreciate you for such a time as this, for giving us this. It's so much, sir. I appreciate immensely, sir. Sir, I'm of the opinion that um something one is passionate about, you can't be able to exhaust it in 30 minutes. Most times it will go beyond an hour is just an average. The truth is this, sir. If you it will 30 minutes will not just work because Barrister Raymond is a very passionate person, and you cannot be able to say all you will have to say in just 30 minutes. Be very frank. And there'll be no need fixing only 30 minutes for it, and then every day will keep exceeding the 30 minutes. I just think you consider leaving it at 1 hour. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it immensely. Barrister, sir.
How do they say that in the Senate House? Those in support of the motion say yea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those against the motion say no. It is only those in this office that are saying no. They are saying you should come and pay for
The Fortreal brand, have mercy on us, sir. Have mercy on us, dear company.
They are saying you should come and pay for the monthly class.
I'll pay, sir. We will pay. Definitely, sir. We'll pay, sir.
Okay. What we do, I'll ask, I'm not in charge. I'll ask DG. If DG gives us that permission, we'll do 1 hour. So we just do 45 minutes for the conversation and 15 minutes for questions. I think that makes sense, right? Or 50
Yes,
minutes
sir.
for the conversation and 10 minutes for questions. So it means that all of
Thank
us
you
should be
so much, sir.
all of us should be coming in early because we start 2:55 and then use that 5 minutes to prepare so that 3 o'clock on the dot we have started, and then we use 15 minutes to have the conversation and 10 minutes to attend to questions. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next week on Wednesday by 3 p.m. Remember, POFO on the 18th, and the paid classes are also happening monthly, and you can reach out to the DG, our Director Generals, for further information. Ladies and gentlemen, bye for now.
Bye. Bye, sir.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Bye.
guys.